Hello, I'm Luke Montalbano bringing you this week's sports update. There are a total of 8 home competitions this weekend, so let's jump right into it. The men's basketball team hosted Shenandoah University on Saturday. They would honor their 2 seniors, Colin Molden and Jamie Clark. On offense, Molden leaps the fast break and finds Anthony Williams for the layup. Williams would have a game-high 27 points to lead both teams. And on the other end of the floor for Shenandoah, Jalen Hill finds Ethan Diffie for the and one. This game would go back and forth all game long. The crowd really getting into this one. And then Colin Molden on offense drives in for an easy layup. Molden finished his final game at the Bob Johnson Court with 23 points and 11 assists. The Wasps would win the game by a final score of 88-84, and they will play Ferrum College in the first round of the ODAC tournament on Wednesday. The women's team also held their senior day, honoring their 3 seniors as they hosted Bridgewater College in a 1-versus-3 matchup. Kylie Cooper bosses the ball and finds Sydney McKinney in for the layup. McKinney would finish the game with 16 points on her own. On the other end of the floor for Bridgewater, Lindsay Estes would stick a 3, building Bridgewater's lead up to 9 points in the competition. And then on the other end of the floor, Josie Sallier would find Peyton Williams for an easy layup. Peyton Williams finished the game with 20 points and 13 rebounds. And then Williams on offense will find Callie Hatterer for the layup. The Wasps would win the game by a final score of 84-79 to clinch the first seed in the ODAC tournament for the second time in 3 seasons, and they will host the University of Lynchburg in Salem on Thursday. Moving on to the Diamond, the baseball team had their home opener as they had a 2-game series on Saturday with Mount St. Joseph University. Mount St. Joseph's Ryan Pauly would hit an RBI, bringing home Ian Mustard and Brandon Turner, which tied the game up at 3 apiece in the 3rd inning. And then later on offense, Chandler Kiesel hits a blooper. Into right field, bringing home Caleb Wallace. The bats were flying at Emory and Henry on Saturday. And then later on in the afternoon, Hayden Milley hits a home run deep into center field, and the Wasps would take both games 4-3 and 12-1. The softball team hosted a pair of matchups on Saturday. They welcomed in Salem College. Alex Thomas got things going with the single to right field, as the bats were also flying on the softball field. And then Leanne Toller later on in the game hits a blooper or grounder into the infield, but outruns the defense to get safely on the first base. And then pitcher Cam Dillard forced a grounder in the game. The Wasps would take both games 3-2 and 9-1. And then on Sunday, the Wasps would host 8th nationally ranked Christopher Newport University. Emory and Henry would start the second game with a big RBI single, and the Wasps would have a 3-2 lead in that game. And then Christopher Newport's Caitlin Hasley hits a home run to left field, building their big lead in the first game of the doubleheader. And then an RBI double from Emory and Henry's Allison Stedman would generate some momentum for Emory and Henry. Stedman will be on set later on with Cam Durr, and Stedman bringing home 2 runs there. And Stedman will come up big on defense as she'll hustle from third base to get the out. Coach Forrester loves it, but the Wasps will lose both games 9-2 and 4-3. That'll do it for this week's sports update. I'm Luke Montalbano. Let's throw it over to Cam Durr for this week's sports interview.